Going on, everybody? It's your main man back on the scene with another video. If you're new to the channel, please smash that like button and subscribe to help the channel grow. It will be greatly appreciated. I just checked out the Lord of the Rings trailer, some interviews. There's been a lot of fuss about this stuff, and most of it centers around race/phenotype of some characters. Dwarves don't, females don't have beards, and departure from the lore, and some feel it looks like the Game of Thrones. I'm not an expert on the lore. I only read The Hobbit back in the 5th grade and watched the movies, which I enjoyed very much. So I can't speak to that. The show hasn't come out, so I don't know if they race swapped any characters or did they simply add them in. Only time will tell. I'm not a fan of race changes because the author envisioned them a certain way. And it's lazy and phony. I think it's mad corny most of the time. Sometimes it fits, but 9 times out of 10 it doesn't fit. And another problem is if the show is related to the movies, then they need to explain what happened to the dark-skinned people. Now, if I were at the helm, I would expand the universe to include other realms to the south and the east. I'm sure there's some lore in Africa, since there are like 3,000 different ethnic groups. East Asia, China. There has to be something that's similar to the Lord of the Rings, or they could just create something new. Have crossovers, perhaps a common threat that they need to overcome together, or maybe a group has an artifact that they need or something, etc., etc. There, if you're creative, you can come up with something to expand it without changing folks. Every show doesn't have to match today's representation, which is impossible anyway, because you cannot represent every possible demographic there is, nor does it make sense to do so. I wouldn't want to see a show about an ancient African civilization and there are a bunch of blonde-haired, blue-eyed white people walking around. It would look pretty stupid. And this calling the fans racist and all this stupid stuff. The real racists are the studios who don't want to create something new featuring non-whites. After watching the cast interviews regarding the show, I don't have any hope for it. All they were talking about was representation as opposed to how great the story is, the new special effects, etc., etc. That's how you hype up a show. So we know what the real problem is. This comment right here, which has been posted, probably several hundred times. Evil is not capable of creating anything new. It can only distort and destroy what has been invented or made by the forces of good. And that's what we see in today's Hollywood. They don't create anything. All they do is, what's the word they like to use? Reimagine. Which you already know is going to be crap when they do that. Anytime you hear them say that, reimagine, it's going to be crap. Anyways, fellas, I'm going to wrap this up, and I will talk to you good folks later. Peace.